Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Now 2018 has been a great year for Elite, and whilst it started out slow with the first few chapters of Beyond, Chapter 4 has added massively to the game and has vastly improved it in just about every regards. Elite, however, doesn't stand still. There is new content in development as we speak, and Frontier have called this the new era of Elite Dangerous, so it's likely to be a significant update. But as yet, there's no word precisely on what the update will contain or when it will be released. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk about the things I'd like to see come to Elite in the future. This is my wish list of features for 2019 and further into the future. Now some of these are reasonable additions that should be possible based on what Frontier have added to the game so far, and other additions are significant that are actually way out there. But the intent of this wish list isn't to be entirely realistic, but rather to put out there what I would love to see added to the game. The list starts off then with things that could perhaps be realistically possible for the short to mid-term future, and progresses on towards stuff that is vastly more complicated and therefore perhaps for the far future, so do keep that in mind. Accretion disks and comets. With Chapter 4, Elite began to come alive with space phenomena. However, there's still many things that could be added. Top of my list then are accretion disks. These can be found around certain types of black holes and theoretically would be visually stunning. An example of a great looking accretion disk can be seen right here in Space Engine. Other space phenomena I'd love to see are comets, supernova, planets and stars still in formation stages, rogue planets and meteor showers on planets, just to name a few things. Planetary surface bookmarks. So bookmarks have been a thing in Elite for quite a while now, but they really don't go as far as they could. The next big step I'd like to see for bookmarks would be the ability to bookmark planetary surface locations. Now whilst detailed surface scanner allows for us to find geological, biological and other types of surface features, it doesn't show us everything on the planet. Best example of the types of things I'm talking about here are standout craters, canyons and mountain ranges. The ability to bookmark outstanding surface features then would be a great help for anyone that loves to explore planets. Of course, this naturally leads into the need for shareable bookmarks game-wide. None of this can really happen though without a full bookmark management system. Whilst we currently have the ability to add, edit and delete bookmarks, a full management system would allow us to add notes, sort, filter, categorize and even search bookmarks. Deploying SRVs whilst in flight. Have you ever wanted to drive into a deep canyon or drive to the summit of an incredibly steep peak? The ability to deploy SRVs whilst in flight would open up entire new dynamics for the game. Of course, this would have a knock-on effect upon certain elements of the game, such as base assaults. However, there's not really any reason why these parts of the game couldn't be adapted to accommodate such a change. Using the boost thrusters to return to a low-flying ship would also be a fun option. Whilst the game should certainly retain the current manual landing and deploying of the SRV, additional options certainly wouldn't be a bad thing. Rapid deployment into hot zones on the ground after all would be a lot of fun. That said, a change like this would also require additional new gameplay that isn't currently available. New types of SRV. The Scarab is currently the only SRV in the game and has been the lone ground vehicle for 3 years now. At one point, hopes were high that new SRV types would arrive very quickly. Right now though, it's starting to feel less and less likely. However, concept art from the Elite Dangerous digital art book shows entire ranges of different SRVs. Perhaps one of the reasons that alternative SRVs have been held off for now could be because there isn't currently the gameplay to support them. Mining vehicles, for example, come to mind right here. Also, tank-like SRVs with high levels of armor or heavy weapons that would make ground-based combat a lot more dynamic. Hauler or mass transport-based SRVs could also be a nice touch, allowing for goods or personnel to be transported through locations that ships are unable to reach. Deployable and remote surface mining. Whether from a new type of SRV or preferably from a deployable drone, remote mining would be a great addition. After all, there's so much surface space within Elite Dangerous that every single person on Earth could easily have 100 planets each. Fortunately, not everyone on Earth does actually play the game, so there's even more surface space available. Point being then that land availability wouldn't be an issue for claiming mining zones. In short, the idea here would be to have deployable drones or mining utilities that drill for various types of valuables. You'll then be able to return to these at various time intervals to collect the goods. Obviously, passive income would potentially wreak havoc with the game, so the amount of credits earned would have to be very well balanced. Alternatively, perhaps instead of mining sellable resources, they could mine materials used for engineering. Interestingly, passive deployable mining wouldn't be a new feature for the Elite franchise, as it was available in Frontier Elite 2. Gas giants. Entering the atmospheres of a gas giant is something that people have been asking for a very long time. It's also something that Frontier have mentioned is a work in progress more than once. David Braben specifically has talked about gas giants and the vast cloud systems that would need to be created to support this type of environment. Now, gas giants are an order of magnitude larger than any landable planets currently available in the game, so the size alone would make these worlds very interesting. The most obvious feature here though would be the immense cloudscapes, unimaginable volumes of gas, giant storms and huge vortexes. Gas harvesting would be an obvious candidate for the type of gameplay found here, and due to the nature of the environment might also offer some extreme danger. Life on these gas giants could also be worthy of investigating, and depending on its nature, may also be a source of danger. Atmospheric worlds. Now this is a big one for me and has been my number one want since Elite Dangerous was announced way back in 2012. The ability to fly through atmospheres and cloudscapes just has a massive appeal to me, and that's without mentioning weather. The idea of rain hitting my ship's canopy is a nice one, I must admit. Of course, the first batch of atmospheric worlds would likely be lifeless worlds like Mars of today and Venus, but nonetheless, the sheer variety of locations that this would open up would be amazing. Added to this, the exploration tools recently released in Chapter 4 have already created a completely new aspect to the game when it comes to exploration. If this were to be combined with atmospheric worlds and all that would bring with it, then exploration and indeed the galaxy would take a massive step forward. Water worlds. Water worlds may at first glance seem similar to atmospheric worlds, and on second glance seem a bit empty. After all, they are entirely made up of a singular even surface. However, it's what's beneath that surface that interests me. Beneath any ocean is an entire world of geology, just as with any other planet. Mountains, canyons, caves, and all manner of other things. Of course, water worlds are also prime candidates for life. The manner in which we access these underwater worlds would be the thing that I'd be most keen to see. Maybe landing on or near the water surface and then deploying a submersible. Or even better, existing or new ships that can travel underwater. This awesome fan-created image gives a glimpse of what that could look like. Cities. Cities mean many different things and are perhaps one of the most difficult things that could be added into any game. The issue with cities is the sense of scale and detail. If you want to include a city in the game, just how much of that city is going to be accessible and functional? For example, it would be unreasonable to expect Elite to have cities like those from GTA 5. However, it doesn't detract from the appeal of cities. Flying over a cityscape for starters has its very own attraction. And in gameplay here, however, is going to be a monumental task whichever way you look at it. Personally, I want to see cities for the sheer thrill of them. But more than that, they could add vast amounts of life to Elite. But the question here really is, are cities a worthwhile endeavour without space legs? Space legs, that much sought after ability to finally leave the seat of your ship and walk around. The real question here, perhaps, like with atmospheric worlds and gas giants, is when would we see them? The answer to that remains firmly unknown. What is obvious though is that the ability to walk around would need to bring with it an entire batch of new gameplay, and it would need to do this without dramatically interfering with the existing gameplay. While Space Legs is at the bottom of my current wish list, there are after all many other things that I want before this. I gotta admit, I can't wait for the day I can walk around my ships and go EVA. That then is a list of features I'd love to see added to the game in the future. Do let me know your thoughts and feelings on what you'd love to see, and let me know in the comment section below. It'll be great to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.